Okay, all right, here I am. Good morning. And I see I have two lovelies on live with me, and just say hello to me if you'd like to. And if you have a question this morning, you're very welcome to put them in. So today, how it will run for the next half hour is that I've had some questions that have been sent to me via email and also via text, and the ones that come in through the live, they will get first priority. However, um, I've got plenty to go ahead with if you're still thinking about what you'd like to know. So just want to introduce myself. Name's Jaxin Brooke. I've been an intuitive for a long time now. My mother was a psychic, and I got into this industry really because I had some stuff happen within the family, and it embarked me on my journey. And then just a couple of months ago, I went and had a reading myself, and was told that I was ready to open up to this next level, this next piece of my work. So here we go. So every Tuesday at what time? 10:30 a.m. to 11 a.m. Australian Eastern Standard Time. You're very welcome to come here and ask a question, and we'll just see what's sitting there for you. So I hope you've got your coffee. I've got mine. And first of all, before we get started, now I can't see anyone's messages yet, so everyone must be thinking about a nice question to ask me. Before we get started though, I do want to mention a disclaimer. Just make sure that you realise that whatever I share with you here today, it is for entertainment purposes only. And if you have some really serious stuff going on, then please seek the professional help that you require, okay? Everything that I do here is about supporting you with where you're at. So that's all I need to get to say. So when you're ready, say hello, give me some love, and we'll get started for today. So nothing in that inbox yet. If you can't hear me, or if anything's going wrong from your end, please let me know, because from where I'm looking, everything's going fine. All right, so my first question, let's get to that. Before I do, take a moment and join with me. We're here together. You're here to really see what resonates with you. And so let's prepare ourselves for that. So if you just like to close your eyes and connect with your breath and your breathing. And I'm just going to connect in with that energy that's ready to be downloaded and shared. Oh, doesn't that feel better? Okay, so open your eyes now and be in the listening. So my first question here is my granddaughter, George, I won't say names, my granddaughter, she has been unwell for 18 months, now diagnosed chronic fatigue. She was off school for about a year and then going in for 2 to 4 hours for 3 to 4 days per week. She is still not right. What is the reason behind this? All right, so with your granddaughter, it's almost like she's living in a parallel universe. I see her and I see her family, her parents, and they're on completely different tracks. So neither of them connect in a way that you'd expect, a parent to be relating to their son or their daughter. So she's very similar to you in nature, and you'll know what I'm talking when I say this. So there's a lot of things she's yet to discover about herself that are very different from her parents, and I see that she's got a temperament similar to her father, yet so that there's a bit of clashing there between the both of them. And I see her mother is there trying to do the best that she can and making sure that she's well and healthy and all those sorts of things. Now, the journey that she's on is one where she's really just as if she feels like she's in a family where she doesn't belong. And it's not that they're bad parents, because they're not. They're doing their best with what they have, but she's come in to have this experience of personal growth. And this is one of the ways that she is sort of coming in and sort of trying to bring her energy in. She doesn't have that conscious awareness of that right now, but as she starts to get older, that will unfold for her and she will grow into herself. So it's almost like I can see those around her don't really get her, so she doesn't feel got. But it's not somewhere she's going to be stuck with for a long time. She's in a system that doesn't work for her, and that's how it is. You've got nothing to worry about. Really just holding that space of acceptance is going to be the most beneficial thing. And if we look at this, we could go into a deeper area on that brings it back to your reflection and your experience of it, but we won't do that today. Maybe save that question for another time. Okay, next one. I want to know if I'll be staying in my unit or for a considerable time, or if I need to be looking in a totally different area. The answer to your first question is no, it is not a considerable amount of time. Now, that depends on how you relate to time, but what I see this is over the next, say, 6 to 8, maybe even 12 months that you won't be moving anywhere. If I need to be looking in a totally different area. This has actually got more to do with the boundary that you actually see yourself in right now. It's not about needing to find a different area. It's about really looking a bit closer to home at where you start to feel stuck and why you are stuck there. And it's not that you are, but you feel there's boundary conditions around the reasoning why you're in the place that you are and you're feeling the way that you do. I do see a shift. It feels like it's either inland more or it's down south more. So there's a bit of could be inland and south, but there is a move and you'll be in more open spaces around. It looks like I can see a few people around there, so more like-minded people, and you feel very content. However, there's this process to go through now. I feel like there's a bit of work to do on inner self, which we can have a talk about some other time as well. So ask me some different questions that relate to that next time you're on if you want to know some things. Okay. I don't see any questions, so I apologise if you've asked a question and it's not coming up there for whatever reason. Or I might not have any questions coming up live today. That's all good. My next question that I've received is I'm feeling a bit rudderless and lacking any real direction or passion in my life. Is there any specific area that I need to look at or work on? Okay, so the rudderless experience that you're having is that you're staying in the same place. You're not moving anywhere. There's no strong winds, there's no underlying current, you're just in there and it feels rudderless, as if you're just drifting. And this has to do with there's nothing new for you to learn. And is there any specific area that I need to look at or work on? Yes, there is. There is. You have this. Like if you think about that word that you've used, rudderless, it's not on the land, it's in the water. Okay, so water can represent some watery elements of ourselves and emotions. Now, you're not connecting in with how you feel about things. There's an avoidance to that. So if there's any area that you need to work on, seeing that you have so much there already on offer, what you haven't done is monetized it. So there is, if we look at the land in comparison, when you're a person of the land, you're working with your craft. When you're in the water and you're rudderless, it's like you haven't connected with that earth element yet. So that's what's there to start looking at, and really you already know the answer to this. However, it's the avoidance of the stuff that's in between all of that will have you actually, being a person of the ground and of the earth and sharing your craft in that way. So the work to do there is around value, it's around money, it's around actually being in the world, not floating around on the water. And so just have a think about that. see where that sits with you. You know the answer. And so it's about stepping into getting out of your own way and doing those things that you know you're ready for. Okay, I've got a family question here. My siblings and my children. I have been estranged from my youngest son for some time. I have vague contact through Instagram, but not sure it will ever be resolved, or maybe just not in the way I would like. So there's two similar experiences, one with siblings and one with children. With your youngest son, he's actually doing okay. All right, he's doing okay. He's got a little bit of, he's in a space in his life where he actually occasionally smiles and is quite happy. He's actually quite content. Like, he's okay being himself. And so when it comes to yourself and your connection with him, there's nothing that you need to do or fix. It is really just being an allowance of how he is. Yeah. And yeah, there's nothing more there, okay? It's just more acceptance is showing up there. When it comes to your siblings, there is a setup here that is for your own learning. And there seems to be a current theme that's coming through this morning. If we've got parallel universes, we've got I'm okay in my own world, it's got recognizing my own value. If we just look at the theme that's starting to come through with some of these questions that I'm getting, it's almost like from this one here with your siblings, there's people that are going through similar stuff to you, obviously, because this is showing up, and I don't know if others are seeing that, but this is what's showing up for me, is that everything has been designed perfectly. You are in the perfect experience, so you are going to them wanting to connect, and yet there's differences that are very obvious there. And it's not to judge the self on the differences. It's actually to go, there's differences, and it's accepting. So it's nothing personal. It's nothing about who you are. It's all about just being okay, like not having to have things in a way. It's really, okay, if I put it like this, they're out here doing their thing and you feel separate from it. And so it's about looking at the separateness that you're experiencing yourself so that you can fulfill on that part of yourself and therefore have a different experience, but not to expect that it's going to come from them or your son. So doing those things that, yeah, all about acceptance. So if you are able to surrender the expectation that they're meant to fulfill you in some way, it's actually going to help you move along a lot easier. Okay, another question here. My granddaughter in the UK, around 15 or 16, not interested in knowing me. We don't have a lot of contact, only when they are with their father. They have been separated since she was 6 months old, the parents, but she has always been close to her father. Is it her age? Okay. Your granddaughter is just at an age where if now she's in the UK, if she was over here, she'd want to come and say hi. It's not about looking at, is she interested in me or not? It's about, well, do I want to connect with her? And when it comes to love and loving our family, the more that we practice that unconditional love with others, especially those closest to us, it allows us to be accepting of who they are without the need to have something returned, to know that it's being reciprocated, and therefore what you've shared is of value. She is, really, really okay. She's a young teenage girl, and so I'm getting lightness come through, so that if you want to stay connected but are not quite sure how to do it, lightness is key. So you might even, this is not about deep and meaningful, not about asking her how she feels. It's like, hey, hun, you're in my mind today and was thinking of you. I hope you're doing okay. Lots of love. You know, it's as simple as that. Or it could be, you crossed my mind. This is a photo of me and blah, blah, blah. What are you up to right now? But don't expect the question to be answered. Could be sending a text. Could be probably a text given today's, you know, how most people communicate. Just thinking of you, hope you're having a lovely day, and do a couple of emojis. There's nothing deep that needs to go here. She will come to you when she wants to, and it's nothing, not a reflection of who she thinks you are. You are a member of her family. She loves you because you're part of her family, and you will have these different connections along the way where there's that, and then it goes, and it's that, and it goes. So if that gives you an idea there. Okay, I've got a question that's just come through. And it's just, what do you see for me right now? Okay. So this is a big question. It's not specific, and it's probably just future reference of if you can just make it more specific, it's going to, then I won't need to generalize, or, you know, I can make it more specific. The answer will come through more specific as well. So, okay. So what I see for you right now is you're very in charge, you're very in tune, that's your personality. And you're doing, you know, you have a really good life, and it's filled with lots of things. What is there for you today is that a check-in would be good, because you're the type of person that looks to want to improve on things. So there's a check-in here, because I see a lot of gold just sort of coming through, and gold is a really lovely, divine, connected to source energy. So you're very highly attuned yourself. Is that there is a, what's the word there? There's a part of you that assumes, because you're so in tune, there's a part of you that, what's that word that's there? It can dominate, or when we dominate something, because I see the gold, it's all sparkly and lovely, and then it's like, whew, so it's like a wave, it just goes over. So it's time to do a check-in and a gauge of how you are looking at others because of what you think you are in tune with. And, you know, which is a really good, it's even good for myself to hear that, is because the tendency with people that are in tune and they know things is that if they're just moving forward, and boom, 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 and they're so quick to process, they can get caught up in their own mental mind. And so I'm just seeing a gauge, see where you are on the gauge, that for you, because of your attunement, will be able to see, like what I'm getting is around the 75, 80 mark, that you, out of 100, that you are able to really click in and be clear and be fast in your delivery of things. It's that little bit extra, and it's not to get to 100%. It's actually just to go, okay, I've got this little bit to work on, that if I was to just slow myself down, pause, recheck, is that the answer that I'm meant to be receiving, and then go ahead. And the reason you're attached to that is because you're attached to the result. So just bring that back and see what's really there. Outcome is always in the future. If there's an attachment there, it's going to get you into trouble with just your line of thought. So I don't see, I can see a few of you online, and I want to say thank you so much for coming online with me today. I've got 10 minutes to go. If there's anything else that you would like me to say, or would like me to tune into, what I can do is, I got a question the other day that I did answer in the chat, and I should have left it for today. is I want to feel it's just coming to me again. So I want to feel into it a little bit deeper now. And the question went something like this is, I seem to attract the wrong type of men, and men that take advantage of me and don't see who I really am. So I did send something back then, but what I'm getting now is, so if you have, whoever's listening, if you have a man or don't have a man, it doesn't matter where you're at, but to think about it's coming to me because there's a certain attitude around men that could do with a little bit of refining. So my answer to her at the time was that she didn't see the value in herself, and she needed to look at the reason why she was approaching men the way that she did. What was the attraction? Not the attraction to the man, but what was it in herself that she felt she was being fulfilled on by being with this type of man? To look at that so she could really get how she was approaching that whole potential relationship. What's coming through here is that a reminder that the men are not to fulfill an area where that we think that a man is meant to take care of. They're meant to walk by our side with our own contrast as a female and a male. They're not there to fulfill anything. They're there to be with us. And so anyone who is with someone or is wanting to be with someone, those men that are in your life already, it's just to be with them, and so you can be together rather than thinking about where you want that type of conversation to go or what you want from it. Being present in the moment. So I think that's all we've got for today. Anything else to share? If there's any themes that you want to be discussed here, if there's any, not just questions, but if there's a theme, if there's a big area of your life that's going completely out of control, you don't know what to do next, those types of questions are always welcomed as well. You can check my website out at jaxinbrook.com, or you can email me any questions at hello@jaxinbrook.com as well. And just lots of love today. Today is about being present in your connections rather than getting on with your to-do list and just making it a flurry through the day. It's really about just getting present, getting that next thing done that's just aligned with you right now. So have a wonderful day. Bless, and we'll speak soon. Next week, in fact.